The Waimakarere is a growing area with predicted population growth over the next decade of 20,000 people. At the heart of its growth is Berend. Berend's growth now means higher traffic volumes and unfortunately more deaths. The answer to improving the main highway through Berend is by looking at an example of a motorway in Wellington. Just like
here on the Company Expressway.
This is a look into what a possible bypass of Berend could look like. With walkways and roads separated from high-speed traffic travelling around Berend, cars and trucks will move smoothly, whilst the locals of Berend can move about safely and efficiently. These students had this to say. Do you think that the speed limits are okay in Berend? Do you think there's room for improvement?
They're not bad, I mean...
What about the 100k stretch from Berend to Kaipara? Do you think that's a bit quick?
No, that's fine.
Yeah, good. Do you drive often in Berend?
Yes, I do.
You do drive often in Berend?
Yes.
Do you find it unsafe if you were driving around Berend?
No.
No. Is there lots of traffic that you see? Do you find it sometimes difficult when pulling out sometimes?
Sometimes, yes, along the main road.
Yeah, okay. Right. So there are plans to build a bypass around Berend. Do you think that would be a good idea? Or is it
No
useful?
idea. Yeah, I think it would be good.
Yeah.
Take some of the traffic out of the end, which would be great. I mean, it's not overly... traffic's not too bad at the moment, but I'd say as the new subdivisions go up, it'll get worse.
Mhm. So there are plans to build a bypass around Berend.
Yep.
Do you think that it would make your driving easier for driving through Berend?
Definitely easier.
Do you think that it would be a good idea to have a bypass around Berend?
Yes and no.
However, progress with making a road this technical means higher costs. The government has instead proposed other lower cost changes like lowering speed limits and installing median barriers to prevent head-on collisions on the current stretch of State Highway 1. These changes, however, have not been implemented. Locals at a public meeting back in September were unsurprisingly not impressed by this lack of change. We needed opinions that would make a difference, so I had a chat with Waimakarere MP Matt Ducey and Mayor Dan Gordon. So what are your current concerns for the main road between Pineacres and Pegasus?
Well, the real concern is the safety of State Highway 1. We've seen from tonight, this very busy public meeting, people are concerned about their children, taking them to school every day across the State Highway 1. And then you have some elderly people who are concerned about crossing the road to get to the bus stop, so they can get the bus into Ringwood or Christchurch. So it's one of those issues that affects, in fact, most people living in Berend.
So what are your current concerns for the main road through Berend?
The current concerns are obviously the safety. It's clearly got some issues, as was evidenced here at the public meeting, but have been well understood by NZTA for some time. So certainly the road crossing with the school is one of the main, and then the other safety issues that we've got along, particularly when we come to the Pegasus roundabout. There's well identified issues there, pedestrians getting across the road as well as cyclists. They've certainly got to be addressed, and as you come into Berend, there's being proposed around the roundabout. I'm concerned about the roundabout being proposed there, that it's not going to allow traffic to go in or out as it should do. To be properly functioning, we should actually have a decent look at that and make sure we've got enough land to do it both ways. One thing I'm particularly interested in was the topic of the underpasses. I actually think it's a good idea and it should be explored.
Berend's public meetings on trying to find a solution to make State Highway 1 safer has been happening for the last 4 years with no change. The plan to build the Berend bypass was planned to begin in 2020, but it looks like that isn't going to happen anymore. Matt Ducey explains one of the major factors that is affecting the go-ahead of the Berend bypass.
And I think what wasn't talked about tonight, but became very clear, is that under the general policy statement for this current government, $5.5 billion was stripped out of state highway funding and redirected to public transport initiatives in Auckland. And so here we are, in a growing district like Waimakarere, not being able to source the funding to get the vital roading we need.
The current government doesn't mention any future possibility of the Berend bypass being constructed in the near future, whereas the opposition party National wants to prioritise this project. With the possible improvements of the current road still looking unlikely or too far into the future, it'll be down to drivers to behave on this dangerous stretch of road to make it safer.